that in general, we would have to say that most negotiations are won by the seller. And I think everybody pretty well understands that the reason is what we know about negotiations, and of course I spend a lot of time teaching negotiations around the world. What we know about negotiations is usually the person most prepared will win. And that's why the sellers usually win, because they are certainly very knowledgeable about their price structure. They know how they develop the price. They know a great deal about their marketplace. They know a great deal about their competition. And interestingly enough, they usually know much more about you, the buyer side, and your company than you know about them as the seller. In other words, it's probably not a fair or an equal playing field. When we talk to sellers, sellers spend a great deal of time trying to get into the back door of your company and learn what your budgets are and learn or maybe even control what the engineers really want to design, depending on the kind of business you're in. But sellers generally are much better prepared, and unfortunately, they are much better trained. We have data that I was just looking at. For example, in the United States, we find that the average amount of money that a company would spend on training procurement people is somewhere around $800 per year. Well, when you talk to companies and how much time they spend training their salespeople, I think most of you would guess that it is much more. Or if we do it in terms of hours, the data shows us that purchasing people on average in the United States get trained about 28 to 30 hours a year in formal training. World-class companies, however, train their purchasing people approximately 100 hours per year in formal training. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't think you'll be surprised to find out that sales people receive training somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 hours per year. So the challenge for all of us in the procurement profession is to make sure that we are approaching our management, showing them what fantastic bottom line results we can contribute, but also that we need to have training equal to or even better than the person sitting across the table from us in a negotiation. So we want to make sure that we get budgeted the amount of training money so that we can be right up there equal and make the playing field much more equal.